Hi guys, Big Al McMordie and Eric Pathy back with your overnight all access report. Al actually had strangers texting me from yesterday's video wanting a movie review. All I will say is this, Al. I'm going to be generous and say that you didn't need to. How can I? 3 hours of constant action, and my son thoroughly enjoyed it. But the dialogue was at a minimum. I was looking on the internet. Tom Cruise got 120 million for this role in this final Mission Impossible, plus a percentage of the handle from the gross sales. So all I can say is, if he did the stunts, he earned the money. If there were stunt doubles, man, what a good cushy job. The stunts were outrageous, but it's basically a 3 hour stunt movie, just to shoot them up. I mean, if you like that thing, I liked the first 2 hours. I thought the last 45 minutes was like they could have ended it earlier with the same result. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more into characters and character development and all that stuff. I'm not really into,
Not
a 3 hour car chase movie.
Now, I will say at the end, and I'm not going to spoil it, the end of the movie was more character than the whole first 3 hours where they got into. But I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I'm going to rate it on the air. On you and me know look, we're old. We know Siskel and Ebert, but I don't know most people. Probably don't know.
Or we know the two guys at the theater in the Muppets. But
Exactly. So I'll say I'm going to give it 6.5. There you go. I'm going to give it
okay.
6.5. So with that, but I will tell you this: I have, I'm standing while I'm talking to you, so I always joke I have restless leg syndrome for life. So the whole like sitting in a chair for 3 hours is just. Now you're a tall guy, I'm a short guy. Obviously, if you guys go to my Instagram, you can see the height difference between us. You're the guy that I always laugh when we're in the airplane, and the guy's like your height sitting next to me. I go, "How do you like it now, buddy?" Every seat is first class for me. But I mean, let me ask you before we get into the game, just so how is that when you're in a regular? If you travel coach and you don't travel first class, how is that with those long legs?
I mean, I do travel coach, and the you know what? It's not even the legs really that are the issue, or that it's. I mean, maybe now because they've made these planes smaller and smaller, so you used to be fine, but in 2025, your knees might butt up against the seat in front of you. I
Right.
don't know. I try to get a window seat,
Got it.
and if at all possible, and then I try to just fall asleep,
Got it.
and then I have no idea how bad it is because I'm asleep.
So for all those that don't know, I'm 5'6". I'm a fraternal twin. My brother's 6'2". And we would travel and get on the plane together, and I would just laugh and go, "How do you like it now, buddy?" Because I was stretching out at 5'6".
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the seats are maybe more uncomfortable for folks who are wide than folks who are tall.
There you go. Good point. But with that
But
being said, like I said, some of these theaters are like first class. It's funny. It's just like in LA. Some theaters are brand new, and some have the broken Roddy chairs. So today we happen to have 3 hours in the broken Roddy chair theater because that's where we can get tickets. No kickback seats, no electric seats where your feet come up. So it was hard, cool, old school style movie watching. But
yeah,
with that
my
being said,
kids, my kids saw Lilo and Stitch, and they liked that.
yeah, I was actually going to ask you if you were planning on taking the kids to see Lilo and Stitch because they had, how it works in the movie. They had 75 premiere trailers before the movie, and the last one was Lilo going into the movie.
Hmm,
So,
interesting.
with that being said, let's talk about your. I was going to talk about it on my video because we were texting when we hung up yesterday. People always ask us why do we don't watch games. One of the reasons is a perfect example last night: unnecessary torture for no reason. We're not going to say who. We're going to just say a few clients reached out to me and reached out to you as we had a 5-star play on the
Oh,
Knicks Knicks +2 or 2.5. And guys, wait till the game's over. It doesn't, Your guy at least said apologies. My guys didn't even text me back.
Well, the interesting thing about, my guy, the client, he sends the text message. Let's see if I can find it. And it says, uh, "This New York team is worthless. I thought for sure you would have taken Indiana." And this is when the team is down, 15 to 20 points. And I replied, you know, "I like New York." I was succinct, but I just said, like, I didn't like Indiana. I like New York. Okay, they're down by 15 or 20, but I like New York, right? Doesn't say anything to me until the game ends. Then he sends a text message. It goes, "My apology, Al." So,
So guys, don't torture yourself. The games are going to be played. You're going to, if you want to torture yourself, go for it. But in the end of the day, you're only going to get paid on the final score. And with that being said, we didn't talk about the complimentary selection. If you guys want to pick
well,
the all access, go ahead.
but I think you've missed the point. The reason clients watch the games and the reasons clients, not just clients, anybody, bets on games, the majority are doing this for entertainment.
I understand. I respect that.
Okay, right. So if you're doing it for entertainment, it's pointless not to watch the game because you could just go to Lilo and Stitch and be entertained. Okay, but you're
Right.
choosing that you're going to entertain yourself by betting on the Knicks Pacers. Well, of course you're going to watch a game because that's the whole point of the exercise is to be entertained. Um, for me, it's work. I'm not doing this for entertainment. I'm doing this to make money for me, for my clients, and it's work. So it's a different goal. But if you're doing it for entertainment, you have to watch the games.
Okay, so, and then we'll get to the complimentary selection. The only thing I would add to that is there's a level of your relationship with your recreational betting if you're a recreational bettor in my estimation, which starts out with you're the cheerleader and you're riding the emotional roller coaster. Then after you put your time in, watch the games, but don't get emotionally like tortured. There's a fine line between entertainment and self
Oh, sure. Yeah,
flagellation.
yeah. I mean, you have to understand. You have to have a perspective, right?
That's all
So
I'm
yeah,
saying. Like the client
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
texting you
Yeah,
like,
and that's fair. That's like I have this one client who is all up, and it's always the same guys.
right.
I mean, I've had this great record over years and years, right? And this guy has been with me for a long time. But we started out the week bad, right? So we lose, you know, the first 4 days of the week. Most of the time going 0-1. I mean, it wasn't like we're
Right.
getting killed, we're just going 0-1. And he's going nuts. Like, forgetting the fact that, over the previous, I'll just do a short term, like 4 months, you're like 380 and 310. That doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is that you're 0-4 your last four or whatever. And that's the stuff that I think, you're doing it for entertainment, you're having fun. You can't go crazy over whether or not the game's win or lose.
Exactly.
Um, yeah.
I mean, you can,
Anyway,
but you're torturing yourself for no reason.
I mean, um,
Now, some
it's
people like
just,
the torture, so then you have those guys too. It gets their blood pumping. I get it completely, but the whole concept of, like you said, a great handicapper is going to win 55% of the time.
yeah.
So that great handicapper knows he's going to lose 45% of the time.
But more specifically, a great handicapper will go 0-8 at some point in the year. I mean, like it's, like the mistake is that you can't go on these types of losing streaks. It's inevitable, and it does happen. It will happen. It's always going to happen, and it's not a big deal. But we get those emails all the time. How can a great handicapper go 0-6 on the NFL weekend? That kind of stuff, and it's like because it's just you know
It is what it
random and
is.
variance, and you can
Exactly.
go 7-1 one weekend and 0-6 the next weekend, and it all shakes out at the end.
I
But
usually know when I lose games by checking the amount of text messages I have on my phone unread.
it's actually it's even I know when I lose games when I hear my phone buzz.
And like,
I know when I win games when the phone
so
isn't
the funny
buzzing.
part, you sent me the client's text, you screenshot it to me, and then I, but I have no idea what's going on because I'm like recording my. Then I go back and I'm like, oh, they're up 106 to 100. Like I didn't even like amazing. But anyway, if you guys want to pick up the all access, make money, win, have fun, and maybe smooth your temperament when you're doing this roller coaster ride we call sports wagering, by all means, reach out to me, 443-957-1006. With that being said, we didn't discuss your complimentary selection before the video. What do you got cooking?
Well, I did want to mention we did win because people always want to know how we did. So we did win the Dodgers. We had one play on Sunday, Dodgers over the Guardians. We won that 7-2. So we swept the holiday weekend, going 4-0, getting off the schneid from that 0-4 start to the week or whatever it was. So that's a good feeling. It's always better to win than to lose. Five WNBA games on the card for Tuesday, one of which is the matchup between Seattle and Minnesota. And this series, Eric, has been dominated by the home team. Home team has gone 48-26, the last 74. The Minnesota Lynx are a 6.5-point home favorite. They're coming into this game off a win, but they failed to cover in that win. They played Connecticut. They only won by 6, laying 16.5. And the Minnesota Lynx at home, when they're favored and off a point spread loss, they're 80-47 ATS. So our free play will be on Minnesota minus the 6.5 over the Seattle Storm.
Minnesota minus the 6.5 is your complimentary selection. Is Caitlin playing tomorrow? I'm just looking at the 6-game card.
Nope. Indiana is off.
There you go. Minnesota minus the 6.5 against the Seattle Storm. Reach out to me, guys. We hope you go ahead.
Yeah, Indiana is. Now this is interesting. Shows you how much I know. I didn't even realize this. Indiana is the lone game on Wednesday at the Washington Mystics. It's being televised on NBA TV. I didn't realize that NBA
it's
TV
fine.
televised.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna check and see
WNBA.
I'm gonna see how crazy tickets are because that's only 40 minutes from my office. So that'll be interesting to see. Versus like a wizard ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the WNBA had contracts with ESPN and I think it was CBS or whatever, but I didn't realize that they actually showed games on the. But I guess that makes sense. Show games on NBA TV as well. I just never thought about it.
There you go. So, like I said, we'll hit you with Minnesota minus the 6.5 as your complimentary selection. Reach out to me, guys. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend, and as always, good day and good luck.